Today is the day. I just got the email that every single parent dreads to get from their daycare, and it is the email that tells us what our annual tuition rate increase is going to be. Every parent dreads this email because truly, we just never know how much it's going to go up. Is it 3%? Is it 15%? Who knows? And I will say this, we are some of the lucky ones. Our daycare lets us know about the tuition increase in February, and it does not go into effect until September. And so we have plenty of time to prepare and budget and save, which is amazing because not every daycare does this. Some daycares only let you know weeks before the tuition rate goes into effect, but luckily ours gives us plenty of time to prepare, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. Now, I'm all about transparency over here, and so I'm going to walk you through the rates as they were last year and what we can expect for the coming year. These are the rates that we had for the 2024-2025 school year. I say school year because our calendar year for daycare pricing is September to the end of August, and so we kind of go on the school calendar year, and this is what we were paying last year. If you had an infant, you were paying $114 a day if you were going for 5 days a week. This is obviously the most expensive. If you had a toddler, so up to 2.9 years of age, you were paying $101 for 5 days a week, and that's a daily rate. If you go for fewer days, you pay more per day, which is how our daycare does it, and most daycares do. I have kids in this preschool, pre-K category. It is $82 a day for 5 days a week. So that is what our current tuition looks like. That is for the 2024-2025 school year. What I'm about to show you is for next year. All right, this is the official tuition rates for the 2025-2026 school year. You'll see for infants here, it went up $6 a day. For toddlers, it went up $5 a day. And for pre-K and preschool, it went up $4 per day. Overall, it's about a 5% increase. Obviously, it's a higher increase for infants and a lower increase for preschool and pre-K. We're lucky because our tuition is only going up about 5% per year. But when we look at inflation overall, I think it said in December of 2024, inflation was at 2.9%. Daycare went up 5%. That is almost double the amount of inflation, and we are on the low end. On average, you're going to see an increase of anywhere between 3 to like 20% year over year. We are the lucky ones. This price increase is so incredibly impactful for families, and it means their costs go up exponentially. And something people often talk about with kids in daycare is that as they get older, the tuition goes down because that price point goes down. But with these annual rate increases, what you'll find is what you were paying for an infant often ends up being what you're paying for a preschooler because of those rate increases year over year. But those are our rate increases for the next year. All in, we're probably going to be paying anywhere between $40,000 to $45,000 a year for our 2 kids to go to preschool and pre-K at our local daycare. I also think it's important to know that the costs that we're paying are pretty average. We go to a town-run daycare center, but in the state of Massachusetts, which is where I am, on average, you're going to be paying about $20,000 per kid. So these rates are fairly normal for our area. And depending on where you live, the increases you're seeing might be much higher than the one we just saw, and your daily rates also might be much higher. So if you're willing to share what your increase was last year or what you're paying on average per kid, it's super helpful for other people to see. So drop it in the comments. The more we know, the more we can advocate for affordable childcare and also for our care workers to be paid fairly, because that's a huge part of this conversation. The childcare system is broken. There is a childcare crisis, and this cost and increase to families is just one part of it.